Hey, preschool peeps.
Hey,
Welcome
peeps.
to our rewind episode.
Must be a holiday.
Must be.
Yeah.
And we're doing what we say and taking a break. We hope you enjoy this rewind. Come back next week or the week after, depending on when this clip airs and what's happening.
Yeah.
But do stay with us because new episodes will air after the rewind. Welcome to How Preschool Teachers Do It.
This is Alison Kentos. I am an early childhood educator.
And this is Cindy Tarabush. I am an early childhood consultant.
This podcast is for parents and early childhood professionals.
Let our experience and research-based knowledge become your guide. Hi, preschool peeps.
Hi, peeps.
We welcome you to another topic that Alice and I are about to connect to the fact that it's summer. Even though it applies all year, we're going to make a connection. You will see it, I promise. Before we make that connection, though, we have to welcome people from Russia who we have in our statistics as listening to this podcast, which is so exciting. For me, anyways, Russia is the land of some of my people, my ancestors, some of them. One side of my family comes from Russia.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's kind of cool, right? Little interpersonal connection there. So welcome to listening, and please tell other people to listen. We also think we have never shouted this state out before, and I can't believe it. I just feel like we must have. I feel like we must have, but let's just do it. High in our ratings in the past 7 days has been Massachusetts, a place I've gone to often and continue to go to often. In fact, this fall I'm going to Cape Cod. Don't come look for me. You won't find me, like incognito. But I will be in Cape Cod for about a week this fall. If you're one of my friends listening to this who's always like, why don't you tell me when you're coming to Massachusetts? I'm going to. But right now we're recording this. So but I'll get back to you. Massachusetts, please tell everybody that not only are you one of our frequent listeners in the stats this week, but it's a place that we love. So please come and listen.
Beautiful there.
Yeah, so much. They have so much to offer in Massachusetts.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about this topic. And we think it has to do with summer because the days are longer.
Yes. And I feel like the routines go out the window during summer. So, right?
The days are longer.
And different. Yeah.
Right? Days are longer, but your children's sleep requirements do not change. What helps to keep them active and healthy, able to have fun and learn. There's a certain amount of sleep that children should be getting.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think it is hard when the time changes, at least on our coast, it changes. I don't know if it changes everywhere, but here it does.
It does.
And,
it does.
And, it's still light out here at like 8 o'clock at night. And if you're going to bed at 8 and your child needs a certain amount of sleep, you know what I mean? Like they're not going to get it if you have to wake up at 6 o'clock to go to school or go somewhere else or go to camp or, you know what I mean? Like you're not going to get the allotted time in there.
And the amount of time that children need to sleep changes as they get older, a little bit, not a whole lot, by the way, just a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit. It seems to overlap a little bit.
Yeah, it does. 1 to 2 year olds should get 11 to 14 hours of sleep.
That's a lot, right?
So that's like, let's say they go to bed at, I don't know, let's use your 8 o'clock as an example.
Let's use 8 o'clock.
So
8 o'clock.
Let's say they go to bed at 8, then they should be sleeping till at least
7 in the morning.
Yeah.
Till what, 9, 10 o'clock in the morning.
That's
not going
to happen, is it?
That's not going to happen. I mean, I think this includes nap time in there, right?
Yes.
So like if your child takes, say, a 3-hour nap in there, like if you're lucky 3-hour nap, right? Then you could subtract that 3 hours out. But you know what? Most of the time, it's not a good 3-hour nap. So like you could subtract an hour or two, depending on how well they nap.
Yeah, maybe they
nap.
Maybe
they do 2 naps. Yeah, if they're that young, maybe 2 naps.
Maybe.
a day. Yeah.
Maybe more than one nap.
So
So you have to
yeah.
think about how much is my child napping, how many hours, and that'll help you to determine how many hours at night, which helps you to determine a bedtime, because people
Right.
have an internal clock, and that internal clock
Yeah.
tends to wake us up in the morning. You
Yes.
cannot control the internal clock that will wake children up in the middle of the night or in the morning, but you can decide on their bedtime at night and hope
Yes.
that they go to sleep. We're going to talk more about that too. And then, like Alison says, naps do count, but they don't necessarily nap
Right.
endlessly either. So,
Right.
but
Right.
they nap for less time as they get
As
older.
time goes on. Yeah.
So we just said 1 to 2 year olds, 11 to 14 hours. 3 to 5 year olds, they recommend 10 to 13 hours. So it does overlap, like you were
Yeah.
saying, Alison.
Yeah.
It's not all that different.
No, to me, that's not all that different. It's just an hour
No.
off, right? An hour difference. That's not a
Right.
lot. That's
And
for a
it's
3 to
essentially
5
the
year
same.
old, it's the same, right? So like if you're going to
Yeah.
bed at 8, 13 hours later is waking up at 9 o'clock in the morning, and most children are up by then, I would assume. I mean,
You know what happens though is they get to be 3 to 5 years old, they start to give up those naps. At the
yes,
same time, families are saying, well, you're a little older now, we'll let you go to bed later. So they're giving up naps. They're going to bed later,
yeah,
which means they're not getting their optimal amount of sleep. And then we get a bunch of overwhelmed children having meltdowns from 3 to 5 years old because they're not getting that sleep.
yes.
If they're not getting the sleep during nap time, then we
Yeah.
need to actually add it on to perhaps between 3 and 5 years old, we should not be moving that bedtime up yet,
No,
not
I
until
think
they
you
get a
should.
little older.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Right.
And I feel like, especially if they might not be napping during the day, depending. Like if they're home, they might not nap. Maybe they will get a nap in. If they're at camp or something, that's like a summertime thing, or you're on
they're not. Yeah.
vacation, or you're doing
Yeah.
something, all these different events, you're not going to get a nap in there, or at least it's not going to be regular.
If you're driving on vacation, if you're lucky, the children sleep in the car.
Sleep during the car. Yeah.
I know that from having children sleep in the car when we were driving far on vacation.
Yeah.
So we used to actually go, honestly, if we were going to be traveling anywhere that was a distance by car, we used to travel at night so that they would sleep.
They could sleep.
We didn't get much sleep, but this way, when we
No.
put them in the car, my children were car sleepers. They would sleep almost the entire way to wherever we were going. So they would get the amount of sleep they needed. It was another story for me and for my husband.
Yeah.
But they got the amount of sleep they needed because we traveled at night.
Yeah.
And then we would try really hard to transfer them, which is another difficult thing, transfer them from the car to the crib or the bed when we got where we were going so that they would continue to sleep. But at least we knew, trying to just put them to bed in a strange place was going to be difficult. So we would travel. Like I said, we would travel at night. Glad those days are not upon us anymore, and we can all just be awake during the day if we go anywhere. My goodness. There are ways that you all can help your children with that bedtime. And it's, again, because it's a time of year where we are all in a different routine. We're so grateful to have so much light and to have the sunlight later where we are. It's the sort of weather where you just want to be out and about. In winter when it's right in winter when it's darker earlier, you feel like at 4:30, 5 o'clock, you feel like my day is over. I'm not running errands. I'm not doing anything because it's dark out.
We're done.
But now you could spend endless hours out there as well. You should. Fresh air is important.
Yes.
But then you've also got to make sure your children get this sleep. And the question is, how do we wind them down? How do we get them to go into bed, especially if it's still light out? You've got to shut the blinds.
That's gotta be hard.
Right?
Yeah.
Our bodies have instincts about when it's light out. So you've got to make it darker, get those darkening curtains and whatever you can get to darken their room.
Yes.
And bring them in there for routine.
Yeah. And I think whatever the routine is, you just keep that routine year round, right? So like whatever your wind down routine is, keep it the entire time, no matter what time it is. And then their bodies will start responding to it. Like, oh, she put on quiet music. Your body is smart. It's like, oh wait, quiet music. Boom, that means sleep. You know what I mean? It's your brain. You're almost like tricking your brain sometimes. but I feel like it's hard to keep routines, especially when you're going on vacations during the summer. I mean, because I think that kind of kicks in too, right? When you're going on vacation,
Yeah.
how do you keep your routine? How do you do the blackout curtains when maybe you're at a hotel and there isn't any, So I feel like you kind of have to at least do the same activities before bed so that your child's body's like, oh, wait, it's time to sleep. It's time to relax, at least. It's time to lay down. You're winding down and you're not like going from like playing baseball outside to be like, boom, it's time to go to bed. Your body's not going to take that very well. So you have to have this routine. You have to do the same thing every day. And eventually they'll get used to it. And the brain is a very smart thing. It'll just know.
Yeah, you should do things like maybe playing that soft music. It's a good idea if your child goes to an early childhood program, a child care anywhere, to ask them what they do for rest time. If they're playing certain music, you might want to do the same. If they have a certain way and routine to get the children ready for that rest time, you may want to do the same. And I can tell you, having worked in and with so many of these programs that have that rest time, that closing the blinds and turning off the lights ahead of the rest time is often part of the routine to get the body to just kind of settle into the fact that we're going to be resting now. So, and then they'll put on soft music. If you're going to put music, no matter where you are, in an early childhood program or at home, it should not have lyrics. People don't always realize that the words will keep the children awake because they'll be thinking about the words. It needs to be either instrumental or some nature sound.
Yeah. And I also recommend, like, even if you're doing instrumental, don't play, because they have like ones that are like Disney songs that are instrumental or Beatles songs that are instrumental. And I feel like that keeps the children up because they're like, what song is this? I recognize this song, but I don't quite know it. Oh, it's Cinderella. And then they keep it, keeps them up. So like, I think the nature sounds are great, or classical music that maybe they're not familiar with, or you know what I mean? Like they're not going to try to figure it out. Because I've tried the whole, like, let's play Disney music, and that does not work.
No, that does not work because
Frozen,
they know it.
Or this, or yes, because they know it.
Yeah.
And their brain is like trying to figure it out instead of
excited
sleeping.
about it.
Yeah.
So we want to play unfamiliar soft music.
Yes.
But it becomes familiar, but it's unfamiliar in that they don't know what it is or where it's from, and it has no words.
It has no words.
That's what I mean by unfamiliar.
Yeah.
And then nature sounds are also, or that white noise kind of sound is also good. They should have a routine, like we're going to close the curtains, put on the music, get undressed if you're home, right? Get undressed, put our pajamas on. And then, if you're home, we're going to brush our teeth at that point. We're going to get ready for bed. Maybe they have favorite toys for just bedtime. That's another signal to the brain, right? This is the bedtime toy. Hopefully you have a routine where you're reading with children, because children need a certain amount of reading done every day. This helps to take care of it. Please not the ebook at bedtime, not the technology reading to the children at bedtime.
Yeah.
Because that keeps the brain fired in a certain way that it's hard for them to go to sleep. Plus the lights from the technology, the illumination from the technology keeps them from settling into that feeling of sleep.
True. That blue light, they call it, the blue light, keeps you awake. Keeps adults awake too. This is why I think people have troubles, because with all this technology, it's easy to keep it next to your bed. It's easy to keep an ebook for your child next to the bed.
Ebooks are okay. Just do them at a different time of day.
Just
please.
not at that time of day. Yes.
Yeah.
Not during sleep time. Yeah. I think they say even like an hour before sleep time, no technology.
Is it an hour?
I think it's
no screens.
No
screens at all for like an hour.
Yeah, I think. I'm not quite sure of the amount of time, but I know there's a length of time that you're not supposed to have that blue light on. Your phones, your tablets, your TVs before bedtime.
It's good for adults to know too.
Yes, because
how many of us scroll or look things up or fall into a YouTube hole right before bedtime?
Yes. Yes. And it keeps you up. And then you go to bed, you turn the lights out, you're like, okay, cool. But your brain is still turned on from that blue light because it takes a while for your brain to filter it out, I think. I think it's an hour. But I'm not quite sure.
What's interesting is that so much of what children do on screens is passive, and we want them to do more active learning. We don't want them to spend a lot of time learning on screens, right?
Yeah.
It's considered passive, and at the same time, it's keeping your brain awake.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
All right. And then, maybe reading, a little routine for saying good night.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's pretty much lights out. So what we've said is you need to maintain this routine, even though it's summer. I think if you push it like 30 minutes or so later, it's not going to do any harm, right?
Yeah.
Push it a little later. Even if, let's say you've been out for the day and you have to push it to a lot later, it still needs to be the same routine.
I would still do that routine, even if it means like, oh, we're going to go to bed 20 minutes later. No, still do the routine, because they'll fall asleep quicker and easier if they went through the routine.
And that routine is make it darker in the room, put on some kind of soft music, nature sounds, white noise, whatever is good for your whatever the children seem to relax with.
Yeah.
Take care of any hygiene needs, any bathroom needs, settle in with your bedtime toys, human being reading to you, and then that's it. Yeah. And I know adults are so busy, it's hard to do this kind of thing. You will be glad in the end, because who doesn't enjoy when the children are sleeping for a little? Don't they look like such angels when they're sleeping? I used to love when my children were little. If they're listening to this, they're going to be totally freaked out that I'm saying it. But I used to love to just go and watch them sleep, because they just looked so perfect when they sleep.
Yes, they like little angels.
Right? They are. In early childhood settings too. There's something so peaceful as an adult of just taking a moment and watch the children sleep. It almost resets us as adults to deal with when they are awake and a little more chaotic.
Yes.
Right? Yes. Helps us. It resets us. It's like, oh, look how great they are. Okay, I can do more of this. Right?
Yeah.
And I think it's the same for families, for whoever's raising children. That's hard work. Raising a child is hard work.
It is hard, yes.
We need those moments where we look at them and go, oh, so cute. And it helps us recharge.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So I hope you'll take a few minutes to do that too, to enjoy just kind of, oh, look how peaceful they are. It gives us peace to see that.
Yeah.
If you are in an early childhood program right now, listening to this episode and thinking to yourselves, I wish the families were listening to this episode. You can help them do that. You take episodes like this and you send the link home, or you put it on your website for your program and just say, here's some interesting information about bedtime for you families.
Yeah.
You can do that. Feel free to do that.
Yeah.
Anything else we wanted to say about bed and sleep time? No, we good?
No.
Allison is looking around like she dropped something. Did you drop something?
I'm looking at my notes. I put my notes down here.
You look like you were looking down. Okay.
I'm like trying to peek at the notes without being, but no, clearly not discreet. No,
Listen, if I can't point it out to you, Allison, nobody can.
Nobody can. Nope. Everything in my notes we covered. Yes.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Accomplished. Okay.
Please let us know if you have a routine with your child that you think really, really works. Please let us know, and we're happy to share it with other listeners. You can find us through the contact form on our website, howpreschoolteachersdoit.com. You can find us on Facebook. Feel free to go there and send us a message, something about your routine or music that you have found, or some kind of nature sounds you have found. And we can always post it on our website and share with everybody, if not in a future episode.
Yeah. Yeah, that'll be cool.
Okay,
actually.
Preschool.
Nice networking.
Right?
Yeah.
I like the networking. I enjoy it.
I like that too.
Because you don't know what you don't know. You find out from each other.
Right. And what works for others might work for you. It might not, but it's worth a try, right? You never know. Yeah.
That's right. All righty, preschool peeps. We will catch you next time on the podcast.
Bye, peeps.
Bye, peeps. Bye.